Amidst the chaos of global politics, a subtle power struggle simmers beneath the surface. Today, we unravel the unreported clash between Germany and the Biden administration. Are trade winds shifting, unnoticed by the world? Is there more to these diplomatic maneuvers than meets the eye? Let's delve into the unseen battle to know more.
Welcome to TFI Global, the antidote to mass delusion.
In the labyrinth of international relations, a silent yet significant tussle unfolds between the European Union and the United States. At the heart of this conflict lies the Inflation Reduction Act, a mammoth €369 billion initiative aimed at bolstering domestically produced clean technology. The EU, perturbed by this act, finds itself in disagreement with the US. Critical minerals agreements hangs in limbo, leaving EU car makers without subsidies, while negotiations to lift US tariffs on EU steel and aluminium imports have hit an impasse. Enter Wally Adeyemo, the eloquent US Deputy Treasury Secretary, headed to Germany on a diplomatic mission. His task: to assuage German concerns and convince local companies that they, too, can benefit from the Inflation Reduction Act. Speaking at an industry conference in Berlin, Adeyemo passionately defends the act, emphasizing its role in combating climate change and ensuring energy security. He will speak at a conference and try to convince German companies that they can have a piece of the IRA pie. The US wants to work together with the EU on greening supply chains, a senior US Treasury official said, to reduce dependence on China. We have to build a supply chain that is going to allow us to be resilient going forward. We know that we can't do this all on our own in the US, the official said. At the core of an industrial base in Europe is going to be Germany. Meanwhile, Germany's economy minister Robert Habeck challenges the act's local content requirements, fearing a detrimental impact on the industry. Habeck, in a panel discussion with Adeyemo, doubled down on his criticism of the IRA, saying that its local content requirements could lead to not just a race for subsidies, but a mutual robbing of the industry. Among others, the German government has accused the US of breaking the rules of the World Trade Organization, which forbids discrimination against foreign products. The EU and US are currently negotiating a critical minerals agreement, which should allow EU-made batteries to be included in the US's subsidy scheme for electricity cars, as well as continue to cooperate within the Trade and Technology Council, which should also lead to better mutual market access, Habeck said. Nevertheless, it is rather complicated to bring this back into a balanced partnership, he stressed. On 20th October, an EU-US summit in Washington remained unsuccessful in its effort to reach a critical minerals agreement. As negotiations persist, the core question looms large. Why no critical minerals agreement yet? The US's insistence on inspecting mines and processing facilities in the EU clashes with the EU's skepticism. EU officials, hopeful for a year-end deal, eagerly await US proposals to sweeten the agreement. The US's insistence on inspecting mines and processing facilities in the EU clashes with the EU's skepticism. EU officials, hopeful for a year-end deal, eagerly await US proposals to sweeten the agreement. Markus Bayer, Director General of Business Europe, staunchly asserts the EU's refusal to accept a US-imposed solution, advocating for a balanced partnership forged through mutual respect. The EU will not accept a solution that is imposed by the US, according to US model, said Bayer. This clash unveils the divergent economic strategies of the US and Europe. Europe, relying on emissions trading to decarbonize its industries, grapples with increased production costs. Conversely, the US, employing subsidies such as the Inflation Reduction Act, supports green technology, granting a competitive edge in global markets. This ideological collision prompts a crucial question. Should Europe reconsider its approach and glean insights from the US model? In the shadowy corridors of diplomacy, Germany and the Biden administration engage in a subtle dance of negotiations, altering the landscape of global trade. While the world remains oblivious, these unreported dialogues shape the future of economies and industries. Behind every policy decision lies a hidden narrative, waiting to be deciphered. Stay tuned as we unravel more layers of this diplomatic saga.